Hey, how about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live Recruiting Show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Today is December the 11th, 2023. We're recording Monday night. You're going to be listening to this Tuesday morning. Keep that in mind as we go forward in our discussion. We've got a lot to talk about today. A couple of commitments, some visits, some potential visits, and potential commitments. Reclassification. We've got a lot. Help me do it all. Joining me is Mr. Jhead and Mr. Cole Peterson. How about you, fellas?
How about you?
How about
That's a big dog. How we doing tonight, guys?
Well, we'll kick off the show with two new additions. Auburn got its first transfer commitment from Mr. Robert Louis Stevenson. I'm just kidding. But
why do I know that name? Where have I heard that before?
Baby, come on now. You know
he's an author.
Yeah.
But is that his name, or am I getting it mixed up?
No, you're not.
Robert Louis Stevenson?
Robert Louis Stevenson.
Yes.
He
like
wrote
the Berenstain Bears or something like that.
Bro, I'm looking this shit up now, man.
I got
it is Robert Louis Stevenson. I would be damn. I'm smarter than I look. Strange case. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Treasure Island.
There you go.
See, I didn't have to. I did not Google that.
What did I say?
Bears. You think it's Dr. Seuss?
Yeah.
Listen, I got a 2-year-old. Okay,
that's true. All right, we'll allow it. We'll allow it.
That's about my level, so we're good.
As most of you know, we are upping our recruiting shows to 2 a week on top of our call-in show. So each week, well, at least for this week and I guess half of next week, we're going to be bringing you as much intel as we can on our YouTube site. If you haven't already, get signed up to Auburn Live on 3. 1 week, 8 days until signing day. We're going to be dishing out all kinds of transfer offers and visits and high school and flipping and who coaches visits and all kind of stuff. So if you haven't already, go join us at Auburn Live on 3. And I did want to say, listen, there's still a little bit of prize picks left. I know we had prize picks on our modcast throughout the season and wanted to continue that for at least another week while the season's going on. If you're not familiar with prize picks, man, you need to go check it out. It's a lot of fun, and it's legal. It's the best part about it. Don't forget, if you go sign up for prize picks, they will do a $100 match up to $100 on your first deposit if you use the promo code War Eagle, all caps in one word. All first-time users get that deposit if you use that promo code War Eagle, all caps, one word. Instant deposit up to $100. If you're not familiar with prize picks, you pick 2 to 6 players, and they've got a projection. 126.5 rushing yards for so-and-so, and total TDs for this guy. They set you a projection, and you either go more or less. So 50-50 shots, a lot of fun. You can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. So tonight I'm taking, Josh Allen to throw for more than 245.5 and Jalen Hurts to have more than 50.5 rushing yards. And if all that hits and this and that, you can really big time win. They've got NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, PGA, college football, obviously. So it's a fantastic way to enhance your watching experiences. So it's a CO-based game, and in Alabama, you got to play the combo squares, which makes it a little bit more fun. You're just picking like Cole and Jhead to say less than 35.5 times.
Good luck on that.
I'm taking more, but hey, listen, I'll do it more than both of you combined. I noticed that when I listened back to the show, I'm like, God dang, dude, just pause.
Trust me, I know. I have to I got to start to taking breaths as opposed to going, yeah.
And when I go to Newberg's show or something like that, it's like, great day, dude, cringy. That's why
you gotta watch the film on yourself.
There you go.
Things.
There you go.
It's always good to correct yourself on film.
When I first started doing this, like 20 years ago, and going on like Rivals AMP, you remember that Jhead AMP? That was like the first video stuff of recruiting. And dude, I would be in front of that light going, and then Trey Blackman, he visited, and I don't know.
You look like that lane.
I do not want to go find our early shows.
Even starting out with on 3, it's not as Josh Newberg, Josh Payton, those guys make it look a lot. JD Piquel, they make it look a lot easier than it is. Unbelievable. Anyways, back to prospects. Go prospects. Promo code War Eagle, all caps, one word, you'll get a free $100. You deposit $100, they're going to match you $100. So you're going to have $200 to play with, even though you deposited only 100. Appreciate Prize Picks for sponsoring our show. Okay, let's hit the real quick, the commitments. Robert Lewis, transfer 1 year of eligibility from Georgia State, kind of a slot guy. I think we hit on him a little bit during the call-in show.
We did, and so I think what we'll do is just kind of a quick recap.
There you go.
Robert Lewis he's built like a slot in the SEC, but if you look at his tape from Georgia State, he also got a significant amount of snaps on the outside as well. So he's got some versatility to him, a guy that you can use in a multitude of different spots, a guy that has the ability to get open down the field and is a playmaker with the ball in his hand. Now, his yard per catch, I think he averaged catching the ball about 9 yards downfield or so. So not a blazer, but a guy that shows the ability to create separation, knows how to run routes, may have an issue getting off the line of scrimmage or getting off the jam, but shows enough twitch and enough ability down the field that he's a playmaker that raises the floor in this room. Cole, how do you feel about it?
Well, I got to give it to my man Rice again. He has nailed, in my opinion, another comparison. He's good on the comparisons. He said he wasn't, but twice now I think he's hit them. And with Robert Lewis, he said Eli Stove, and I got to tell you that's a pretty good comparison.
Okay,
yeah, because I think Robert Lewis is a little bit of a utility guy, whereas you can line him up in the slot, you can put him outside. I don't think he's really designated to one of those areas. I think he's more of a put the ball in his hands where he can make a play. I think that's the kind of guy he is. I don't see him being a deep threat. I don't see him being this intermediate guy where he's just, slicing you up on routes. I think he's a guy that makes plays with the ball in his hand. And I thought that was severely lacking with Auburn this past year. Eli Stove was a guy that did it a lot, and he did it really well and doesn't get talked about that much. Robert Lewis, if he's anything like Eli Stove, I think you've hit on something here.
Was Eli Stove, to me, it wasn't twitchy. He was a good, straight line guy. Am I wrong here?
No, he had good vision for a guy that was playing receiver as a ball carrier, and he ran hard, and he always got some yards, and that's just there's something. Okay. There's a place for guys like that.
And contingent on the matchup, he had the ability to get vertical and get downfield.
Yeah,
so, sure. He was a guy that, like Cole just said, Eli, you moved him around the field to create the matchup that you wanted that was favorable for him because he had the ability to play inside and out. So I think with motions and other things, you can kind of move him around and position him to take advantage of what the defense is going to give you from a matchup standpoint, whether you're playing against zone coverage, whether you're playing against match man, whatever you're lined up against and the rules and principles that they're playing in the back end. I think he's a guy that you can use as a piece along with those high school guys that you're bringing in to really upgrade Auburn's room.
Speaking of upgrading the room, Auburn got a huge commitment Monday afternoon from Seth Wilfred, the big JUCO offensive tackle, who I saw him yesterday when he left or Sunday when he left. He's kind of that 6'4", 6'5". I didn't really look at I wasn't really seeing a Marcus McNeil, but I was seeing a guy who could play inside or outside. I think they wanted him to play outside. Yeah, but he wasn't the Matthew Bedford, like, oh my God, dude, or the Mac Pounds, who was like, oh my God. But good looking kid, got 3 years of eligibility left and going to come from Nebraska. I mean, for Auburn to go into Snow College, I think Keontae Scott actually tweeted about it. Keontae Scott was big on him. They never played together at Snow, but there's some crossover there, I guess, with some type of relationship. Anyways, sure. Yeah. Well, there was a lot of familiarity because Keontae was like, "Hey, man, come on in here. You're from Snow. I went to Snow. Remember this? Remember that? You ever eat at Johnson's Tractor Supply down there in Claude?" So, but Cole, you talked to me about Seth Wilfred. What do you see him? I mean, he raises the roof.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people see that first of all, you look at his star rating, doesn't have that yet, really.
It's coming.
You look at his offer list, and you go, that's not great. Well, let me tell you, a little bit about him as I've dug into him and tried to figure out, because I had a feeling if he was visiting, I felt like he was going to commit, and That's exactly what happened. I had a prediction in for him. I thought that was going to happen this weekend, and it happened. So He's actually from a little town that's on the Nebraska-Wyoming
Oh,
line,
yeah.
which I didn't even realize that Nebraska and Wyoming bordered
I believe
each
that's
other.
the North Platte River.
You got it.
Somewhere in that area is where he's from, and didn't get a lot of recognition. And they end up moving to Las Vegas, Bishop Gorman High School, which a lot of you have probably heard of that. Big school, a lot of recognition there. He gets there sort of late, and he's not starting as a senior because their offensive line, I mean, pretty much every single guy on their offensive line was a D1 guy. Towards the end of the year, they go, hey, this Seth Wilfred guy is really good. They put him in there. He ends up being really good. He goes to junior college because he didn't get any offers. And in junior college, it was a very good move. It kept him some eligibility. He got that 3 years now he can play with. But he has a great season for this junior college, for Snow College, who is predominantly really good junior college, I believe. Yes. So, you watch his tape, man. He's got great feet. Not a great run blocker yet, but he's a good pass blocker. And to me, if you're looking for tackles, you don't find many tackles that are polished as pass protectors at this point. They're just not. That's the hardest thing to teach. It's an angle thing. It's a balance thing. It's a feet thing. And he seems to understand. He's got great body control, as Jhead was talking about the other night. So I think that this is one of the better offensive line pickups Auburn's had in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would agree with that. He is a natural tackle, in my opinion, regardless of his actual height, his frame to me. And I don't know what he measured at from a wingspan standpoint, but I got a feeling that he tested relatively well because you see real long arms on tape. Like you said, Cole, you see somebody that can it shows the quickness with his feet to get into his drop relatively quickly, make sure that he's able to wall off a defender. You just don't see guys that have that natural balance and body control that he has at the tackle position. And balance and body control, to me, those are the two most pivotal skills realistically when you're trying to judge a football player, in my opinion. What they're able to do with those two things kind of makes a determination to me of are they a take or are they not? And he's very good with his balance and body control. And I think he's a guy that I don't think he's ready to play right now, but I think give him a year or two in this system underneath this coaching staff and Jake Thornton, and you had a guy that could be potentially a very good starter in the SEC.
Yep. Let's see. Wilfred Lewis. Before we move on to high school, let's stick with the visits for a second. Mac Pounders left today, Monday, but he's a big dude now and really said a lot of great things about Auburn. Really loved his visit. Basically was like, listen, I'm going to visit Missouri because Eli Drinkwitz came and visited me. And I would like to visit like maybe one other school just to compare it to Auburn because this was unbelievable. Like, is every place like this? Because if it's not, it's a done deal, basically is what he's saying. And he's going to take his visit to Missouri. And then I don't even know if he'll take another visit, but he said he'd like to. But that dude is good. I think he's got 2 years, doesn't he?
I believe so.
I believe he does
think
too.
I believe him and the kid from San Jose State both have 2 years left to play.
You look at and listen, what he told us reporters was exactly what we've been saying, I think, on the show. And it's not like we came up with this on our own. We've talked to people who know, but Auburn wants Dylan Wade. They think he is an NFL offensive guard.
Yeah.
He's playing out of position, although he plays the hell out of that position. They want a guy who can come in and justify them moving him inside because they don't have anybody right now that can justify moving Dylan Wade inside. They think Mac Pounders can do that. I think the kid from San Jose State. And we haven't heard any more from Matthew Bedford. He's another guy to keep in mind. Another big tackle.
Yeah, he officially visited to Colorado. It seems like that visit went very well. So, and he had told you, and I think it's held true to this point, that he's going to go home and make a decision with his family as far as what he plans to do.
Yeah, he said after Christmas is when he's.
Oh,
but look, that's what I was about to say about these transfers. I mean, Robert Lewis told us, "Well, I'm going to Cincinnati. I'm going," and he's committing an hour.
He committed 2 hours later.
Well, because they get a
So-
phone call, are you in or are you out? Because if you're out, we're moving on. And
You think about what Damari Austin tweeted Sunday or Monday one. It was like, you better get on, or you get left behind, or there might not be a spot for you.
Yeah, and Justin Hokinson with us, he does the scholarship tracker, which I think is awesome. You go and look at it. It's not as many spots as we may have thought, actually.
And I've been trying to tell people, I didn't think there were going to be as many jumping into the portal as some people anticipate. Now, I think you're going to get more from our team. They're going to enter the portal after the bowl game.
I do too.
But I don't think it's going to be just this mass exodus by any means. I mean, I think you're talking 4, maybe 5 more guys jump into the portal. So, what are we looking at on the tracker right now, Cole, from an open scholarship standpoint? Probably 6 scholarships.
Let me pull it up. Let me go ahead.
That would be interesting. While you're doing that, Cole, another guy we need to mention is Jerquan Scott.
Yes. Look at you. Look at you, big dog.
Hey, did you watch film?
Yes. I watched all those people making fun of me.
You got that corrected. You got that fixed.
I even said it when I was talking to some people today. Yeah, but I was like, yeah, Jerquan Squat. Jerkin Squat. He is going to announce Tuesday, posted on the corner Monday night, that I did not believe Auburn was a go for him right now. And after we have all collaborated, put our heads together, we have all independently confirmed that that is the case.
Yes.
So we all expect him to go to Ole Miss. I threw in an RPM for Ole Miss. I think Zach Berry from the Ole Miss site has one in as well. Man, Jhead, you've actually been saying that since his name first surfaced.
Right. So my intel originally was the young man was very interested in coming to Auburn, very interested in what Auburn had to say. And coming off of that visit, when he initially said, "Hey, I'm done. I'm not visiting anymore anywhere else," I think we all anticipated.
Whoa.
Yeah, that kind of caught you off guard, because I was expecting him to go to South Carolina. So, after digging around, it's my understanding at this time, Auburn's not prepared to take him right now. And that, you're right, Jeffrey, we knew the kid was really interested in Auburn. We didn't know where he was on Auburn's board. And it appears as of today, like this hour right now, who knows, that may change in the morning, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how it goes in the transfer portal world right now. But as of today, I think we all expect him to attend or commit to Ole Miss.
Sure.
Yeah.
By default.
So I got the scholarship deal pulled up here. Wilkie Denard leaves for the portal today. That makes 9. That gets you down to 62 current scholarships. But you add in the 18 commitments
Plus the 2
You got-
transfers.
You've got 80.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So
Hold on. Auburn's got 18 commitments plus 2 transfers, right?
actually,
Well,
should be 9.
One transfer, one junior college guy today. But you got to take off the tight end too.
So you're
Yeah.
looking at maybe 5 right now?
5
Yeah,
open
actually,
scholarships.
19 commits because counting Seth Wilfred. So that's actually 4.
4 left.
Available.
Open. 4 open.
Available. Now,
And I
there's a chance that Auburn feels. I mean, you could see commits happen in the portal the next day or two, right? Boom,
Sure.
boom, boom. They hit 3 or 4 out of nowhere, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, they're done." Well, they're not. There's probably going to be more leaving. Okay, that's they're accounting for that.
Yeah.
So
as I was told,
I'm curious.
the numbers always work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they need a spot, there will be a spot.
Well, and that was
I'm
actually a
curious.
conversation you and I had, Jeffrey, when I remember asking you very early on when I was doing this. I was like, "Dude, you think?" He's like, "Alan, the numbers always work out."
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Of the 9 guys that have hit the portal from Auburn so far, y'all surprised by any of them? I can read them
No.
to you. Anichi
Wilkie
Sledge,
Denard would be-
Stephen Johnson.
No.
He surprised you a little bit?
It didn't surprise me more than I probably didn't want him to hit the portal. Let's put it like that. Like, was I surprised? No. Did I think I believe he has potential, and I did not want to see him enter the portal. But
Okay.
not surprised given his lack of playing time this year and how little we heard about him down the stretch.
But damn, he's so young. Like, what did he expect? And I will say this: how many of on the two deep have entered? I don't think anybody, right?
Well, you got Anichi Sledge, Steven Johnson, Amari Kelly, Steven Sings, Jair Shorter, Malcolm Johnson, Tyler Fromm, Marquise Gilbert.
They wish Tyler would have stayed, but they understand he wants to go and be the man for a year. I don't have a problem with Tyler Fromm.
Yeah, and he it somewhat found himself as the odd man out at times in the tight end room.
Sure.
It's nothing against him. It's just, he's a little bit more of a receiving type than a down on the line blocking. And Brandon Frazier really came on, so that's just how that goes.
Of the guys you've mentioned, he is the only one right now that I could say with confidence that Auburn was like, "Hey, man, you sure you don't want to stick around?"
No, I agree with that for sure. They absolutely wanted him to. Now, if you get Jael Skinner to replace him, I think you're okay, particularly with the way that our younger tight end came on this past year, Micah Riley Duckert. I think that makes that loss a little bit more platable, specifically if he continues on. Now, I tell you what I did hear with regard to Wilkie. Brenton Williams kind of moved over into that spot and kind of passed him on the depth chart.
I believe it. I loved Brenton Williams' tape out of high school. I thought he was going to be pretty good. And he has already moved down to that 5, which he started as a jack. And looking at him, you're like, man, he's a big kid.
There was no way he was going to be able to stay at the jack. Absolutely not.
But, I'm wondering about the jack position too, because we're not seeing any offers go out to any jacks. And there's a lot out there that are pretty good, I think. They got Waller coming in. I think they're going to do some moving around. Maybe Austin Keys is a guy they could put there at times because they lined him up in that spot a few times this past year, let him blitz. Cam Riley, what does he do? He's gotten a little bit more physical, I think. They got that in his head a little bit later in the season. You've got Keldrick. Don't forget about Keldrick. He's athletic enough to do it. If Elijah McAllister could do it, I think Keldrick could. He
absolutely could. And then obviously you've got Joe Phillips that's coming in as well, who absolutely can play the jack position. So you can probably manufacture depth given who you've got in the linebacker room. But to do that, I think you've got to add a linebacker. But that kind of gets back to our transfer portal recruiting, right?
Sure. Let's see. Let's hit some news of the day on Monday. Besides the 2 commitments was the reclassification of an Alabama commitment, which typically wouldn't be a big news for Auburn fans. But Auburn, we believe, is right in the thick of it, of this recruitment of 5-star wide receiver Ryan Williams, the 5-star plus wide receiver from Saraland, who has won every award and whatever. He's been committed to Alabama since the summer, or maybe even back in the spring. He's been committed to Alabama for a long time.
I'll tell you.
I think he committed actually fall of 2022.
Wow. So he committed in the 10th grade.
Yeah.
Probably after he came to Auburn and Harsin was like,
October 8th, 2022.
Yeah. I knew it was early.
Wow. So 14 months. So he's been committed to Alabama for 14 months. And, I know Alabama coaches and reporters and fans are, he's locked in with Alabama, but he's not signing early. He's waiting until February. I don't know that he actually can sign, to be honest with you. I don't know. I shouldn't say that because I don't know. But Jason Caldwell and me and Christian, we were all sitting around talking today, and I think Caldwell was like, I don't know that he can. And I thought, well, for reclassification guys, you may not be able to. Either way, what, Cole?
No, it's possible. It's possible that he can't.
I'm going to look into that because that's relevant because he's not signing. So if he could, and he's deciding not to, and to take visits,
right?
So, and I think he told 24/7 he's taking visits, and the last one would be to Auburn.
That is my understanding of that reporting, and give credit where credit is due to Christian Clemente on that, but I believe that the schools that he's planning to visit are Alabama, Auburn, Texas, Georgia, and LSU. Is that correct?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Or was it Ole Miss?
Let me hold on.
Yeah, because I was talking to Christian and Jason about it, and I hadn't read the story yet, but I think Christian told me that it was Auburn. He told them Auburn was going to be the last visit.
Got it here. No, it's Alabama, Auburn, Texas, Georgia, LSU.
LSU. Okay.
So not Ole Miss.
So 5 visits in the month of January for a guy who is 100% locked up to Alabama. But this is perfectly. It's working like we thought it was going to. We've been saying we thought he would reclassify. We thought he would take official visits in January. We thought Auburn's really in this and that he would make a decision. And Christian actually said it's not on signing day in February. It's 2 days after. I think his birthday is February the 9th.
Right.
Or something like that. February 8th or something.
I think that sounds right. Now, look, our information may change. We may find out that he's capable of signing and he signs, in the early period, and all this is for naught. But as of today, the way that it looks, and I want both y'all's opinion on this. Now, it didn't work with KJ Bolden, but the fact that Auburn's getting the last visit definitely gives you some confidence that he's really entertaining Auburn. This isn't a situation where, so anybody that's saying he's 100% to Alabama, if you were 100% to the University of Alabama, why would you officially visit Auburn? Number one. And number two, why would you make them your absolute last visit? The last team that gets to see you before whatever in-home you're going to do.
And he made that straight up front. And listen, so there's conflicting. So because, BOL, Tim Watts and Andrew Bone from BOL were saying that they had heard that he might sign next week.
Sure.
So if that's a possibility, then the context of this is completely changed. If he can sign next week and he chooses not to, if I'm an Alabama fan, that's a huge crimson flag.
I would think so. I mean, to me, yeah, right? I mean, you want your guys to sign.
Imagine Cam Coleman could sign next week, and he's like, nah, I think I'm going to visit these 5 schools, and then my last one's going to be to Alabama.
Yeah,
I'll play devil's advocate. God. Allow me to play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
And just look at the other side of things and try to just give all the options that are out there. Yes, I agree. Yeah. Just look, you have to with this because there's so many things that can happen. There's so many directions that can go. Yes, I agree. If Auburn is the one that gets the last one, and if he's going to take all these visits and he has the option to sign and he does not sign, I think all of those things are big. You need to look into it. Now, we have seen several guys take their last visit to Auburn and then not sign with Auburn.
Yeah.
We've seen it over the years. Okay. What would be the first time this happened? This would not be an anomaly.
Tony Mitchell a year ago.
Tony Mitchell. How about James Smith?
Sorry about that. Sorry, as a low blow, I apologize about that.
James Smith. James Smith showed up without Quay Russaw, which was kind of rare, like the last week, the couple of days before signing day at Auburn, and got the headlines buzzing again that there was something there. Not really. Curtis Perry named Auburn his leader. Right before signing day,
and then had Auburn 3.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
UCF, according to him, finished ahead of Auburn. So Cole, I hear your point, big dog.
That's all I'm saying. I mean,
it's not an end all be all.
No,
that's what I tried to say on the call-in show too. You need to look at every angle of this. How can you be an Auburn fan and go, done, locked in, baby, he's coming? How can you be that guy? You never watched Auburn. Okay, look, but that's what. I'm sorry to keep cutting you off, but that is what Hugh Freeze is. That's his whole persona. We've got to flip the script here. We've got to make a change with that. That's not the case anymore under me.
Now, the point you just made about how Auburn fans can't be like, how can you? My counterpoint to that is if you're an Alabama fan, there's no way you can say, Ryan Williams is 100% locked to us if he goes through with this entire set of circumstantial evidence of visits elsewhere. And I'm not trying to debunk what you're saying, Cole. I agree
Sure.
that Ryan Williams could very much sign with Alabama. Hell, he could very much sign with Texas for all I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
I tend to believe it's going to come down to Auburn and Alabama in the end.
Yeah.
But I don't believe for a second that he is absolutely done and 100% committed to another school if you're willing to visit and entertain other offers from other universities.
No, that's not how it works, man.
Now, is Alabama still his leader? That
Sure.
I would say, yeah, absolutely.
Me too.
Alabama is still the leader in the clubhouse for Ryan Williams.
And let me explain something on my hot board. I'm going to have Ryan Williams at 50% probably until February the 7th. Unless I hear, because listen, last week I would have put him at 45 or 40.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody would have had a freak out. And then this week I'm closer to the 50%, especially after today. I liked what I heard today from some of the people that I heard from. Well enough that I would have had him back to 50. I don't want to be going up and down with him, back and forth. I think there's going to be a lot of ups and downs in that recruitment. I think we're going to hear a lot of different things. I think you're going to hear a lot of pro Alabama stuff on the back channel. I think you're going to hear a lot of pro Auburn stuff on the back channel. I just think it's going to be a dogfight for Auburn. The reason I'm not going any lesser,
Sure, you're not dropping your confidence, your percentage,
is because the man who's in charge of this recruitment, Hugh Freeze, is, dude, he's earned that right from me. When you can flip DeMarcus Riddick and Perry Thompson and Joe Phillips from Georgia, Alabama, flip Cam Coleman from A&M, presumably flip Cohen Eccles from A&M, flip Jamonte Waller from Florida,
and possibly LJ McCray,
and have your ass in the bottom line with KJ Bolden with FSU. And you earn that right. And that's the thing about Hugh Freeze, different from Gus Malzahn and Tommy Tuberville, and even back to Gene Chizik, man. Like, this dude is a savage.
He is the closer, right?
Shit.
The difference between Hugh Freeze and the other coaches that you just named, maybe Tuberville in his heyday,
Sure,
was that kind of a closer.
He's in the conversation, yeah.
But Chizik leaned on the logo, and he had to have assistants go in.
Assistants. Mm-hmm.
Right? Malzahn, as much as I love Gus, and I think he's a great man and everything else, Gus wasn't a closer. Maybe Christie was a closer. Gus was not a closer.
Christie was awesome. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But he had Trav and a handful of other guys that were doing
Rodney Garner,
Damian Craig, multiple others that were doing the closing for him. Brian Harsin, I mean,
well, it's not fair to any of those other guys, to be honest with you. I'm sure he'll tell you I probably should have recruited a lot harder.
Well, and I'm sure he would have. My whole point in all this is that Hugh Freeze, the way he works it is, he's like Nick Saban. He's the guy that's going to come into the living room. He's the one that's going to win this recruitment for you. He is the closer. And your best recruiting teams, and we've talked about this over and over, the head coach is involved in that way in recruiting. Look at Miami with Mario. Look at Georgia with Kirby. Alabama with Saban.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Norvell. Mike is very involved in recruiting for Florida State. Absolutely as a closer for them. It's just that's the way James Franklin at Penn State, multiple other guys. That's just the way it goes, man. The head coach has to be involved, and they have to be that dominant personality in the living room.
We've got about 10 minutes, and I want to get to what these people want to know. Let's talk LJ McCray. And let's talk Amaris Williams these last 10 minutes. By the way, the new offers we were also going to mention, Jacoby Thomas, a DB from Middle Tennessee State. Auburn offered him on Monday. They offered Vinny Scuri, interior offensive lineman from Toledo, who's going to visit Auburn on Friday, and Kobe Savage, a defensive back from Kansas State. Those were three offers, at least, that we're aware of that went out on Monday. But let's talk some high school five-star studs. LJ McCray, Amaris Williams, he's a top 100 guy, committed to Florida. Both of those guys are committed to Florida. We didn't get to talk about them a lot Sunday night. So LJ came up Friday afternoon. Cole, I believe you reported he arrived Friday afternoon around 8 o'clock. He had spent half the day in Florida at Florida State, came up and spent the night. Jamonte Waller drives over from Mississippi, former Florida commitment, and spends the weekend with him. Cole, you had some good intel on LJ. You talked to him when he left. What are you thinking about that? What can you tell us about LJ?
I don't think I learned much from his interview. I think he's pretty good at that.
Sure. I'm just glad he talked, to be honest with you.
No, he's a respectable guy. I mean, he knows if he's going to do something like that, he feels it seemed like he felt the need. He needed to do that interview, and he did the same at Florida State. You know, and if anybody ever says no to it, it doesn't bother me. I don't. You know,
No, me neither.
That's fine. You know, but to me, I think having Jamonte Waller there was a big deal. We talked about this. He's a winner. That's the guy that's to me, Jamonte Waller's a lot like Keontae Scott. Keontae Scott calls himself the closer because he takes pride in winning, and he loves to win. He loves to try to win these battles and help. And I think Jamonte Waller's the exact same way, and that helps. You know, I don't think that LJ McCray and Jamonte Waller were like best friends. I think the staff thought, all right, you two have a tie because you were both committed to Florida at one time. And we love the way that Jamonte goes about things. Let's get him in here. We like to have him back again anyway and have you there with LJ. So, based on what I've heard about it, you know, Auburn thinks, again, I'm not saying what I think. I'm saying what Auburn thinks and what they're portraying to us. And it sounds like they do believe they are in this. Now, on the Florida side, they don't think they're going to lose him. But I tell you what, they didn't think they were going to lose Jamonte Waller either. When I put in my prediction for Jamonte Waller, which was about 2 weeks before he made the flip, maybe 3, something like that, I was getting from the Florida side, hey, you know, Florida feels really confident. I don't know if you should do that. And I said, well, I got a pretty good, you know, I got a pretty good feeling on this one. So I'm getting a similar deal with LJ McCray, if that makes sense. It seems like Auburn's got a lot of confidence there, and so does Florida, but we'll see who wins. We'll see who wins on that.
I tend to agree, Cole. And this is what I will say. I think a lot of people have a hard time reading LJ McCray. Okay.
Yeah. He doesn't say much.
I think there are a lot of people that thought Florida State finished second in his original recruitment to Florida. And I think we have it on good authority that Auburn actually probably was the second place team in that recruitment. And it's because there's a lot of ambiguity as it pertains to LJ and what he communicates to people outside of his circle. So I think I'm with you, man. Everything I hear is positive. I think it's really 50-50. I think we have a 50-50 shot of flipping LJ McCray.
The interesting thing is,
that's what I had was at Jhead.
I made the comment about Cohen Eccles that even though I felt Auburn made a great pitch to him, had a great shot with him, that closeness to home might have, you know, ruled out over Jimbo Fisher and whoever the offensive line coach is. I felt like that was a big deal, and now he's opened things up. He may still end up at Texas A&M, Cohen Eccles. I don't know, but it's similar with LJ McCray. I think he committed to Florida for a reason, and I don't know if them, you know, firing Sean Spencer, who was their defensive line coach, I don't know if that is going to be like the turning point. It doesn't feel like it is to me. It feels like Florida was the deal, at least for him and his family. Like, it's Florida. It's not Sean Spencer, maybe not even Billy Napier. It's Florida. So how do you win against that? That's my question. I think that's the biggest hurdle you have to overcome if you're Auburn.
LJ McCray, Amaris Williams, the other Florida commitment. Hell, we're talking about Jamonte Waller. We're talking about LJ McCray. Let's talk about Amaris Williams. By the way, it is Amaris. By the way, I think I've been saying it wrong. Can you believe I've been saying the name wrong? Not Amaris, but it's Amaris. He is in Auburn. He arrived on Monday, shortly before noon, and is going to leave. What's tomorrow? Tuesday. You know, a day and a half visit, which is about this time of year. It's about all you're going to get. There's coaches out everywhere running around, man. You got a lot going on. So Amaris Williams. Now listen, I've never talked to this kid, and I've been telling people on the corner who ask about him, like, I really don't know. I know what I'm hearing. I know there's some quiet confidence behind it at Auburn. I mean, hell, just to get him up on the visit was impressive.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk to him tomorrow, and I will. Hope to, at least. And Tuesday, by the way. And see what he says. What are y'all hearing, Jhead? You got a little smirk on your face where you pop your collar and stuff. Look at you. Big dog in us with your Patagonia popped collar.
I haven't heard anything on Amaris just yet, other than they like their positioning going into the visit, and that we'll see what he has to say coming out of it. It's really been kind of a mystery for me. I knew they had somebody they were working on. I had no idea who it was till Cole and you kind of broke that story. And I think Keith Niebuhr, also former member of obviously Auburn Live, now with Gator. What is it down there?
Gator Bait.
Gators Online.
That's what I said.
Gators Online. Gator Bait. Now we get online. It also helped you guys kind of break that story a little bit. But the word that I got was they feel positive about the trajectory of that situation. They like their shot here. They're going to take their best shot on this official weekend, this official visit weekend, and we'll see how it all shakes out.
To recap Keith's story a little bit, and he and I talked about his recruitment, Amaris Williams. Ohio State thought they were going to get him. It was like a done deal that he was going to flip, and Florida's had a lot of guys flip here lately, so nobody was really shocked that it seemed like another flip might happen for Amaris Williams to Ohio State. Now that didn't happen. It's the same thing we were talking about with Favor Edwin, and like, what's the holdup here? Even though all signs point to you doing this, why are you waiting? Well, it's because there's some more teams in the mix. Tennessee, Georgia, Auburn. I think that a visit to Georgia is still on the table for Amaris Williams.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to happen. I know that it's on the table. But using the process of elimination a little bit, if Georgia doesn't push for him, and that's always possible, even though he's an elite player, it's always possible. Yeah, they have a lot of elite players. So we'll see what they do. I haven't heard much about Tennessee. Definitely have not heard much about Ohio State lately. And Florida, a little bit iffy about maybe keeping him. So that leaves Auburn. That leaves Auburn, and you're like, well, that's the last team on the list. That's interesting.
I agree. And Cole, you actually you jogged a thought for me. Going back to LJ McCray, and I think this ties into Amaris Williams as well. You asked me what would need to change for LJ McCray to flip. And to me, it's great players want to play with other great players, right? Florida's class starts to fall apart. True. I think that could be the catalyst in, okay, I need to make a jump where I'm going to be protected and play with other great players. I think that's the thing that could do it.
Could have been similar with Cohen Eccles as well.
I agree.
Lots of wheels are turning, man. This is when it's getting into the crunch time, if you will, man. We've got 8 days till signing day. A lot going on. This weekend, we're going to take our Thursday night. We're going to take a look for the Friday show at who all's coming in this weekend for visits. Posted today that Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, some of those guys, some of the commitments, wide receiver commitments, are going to come up for an unofficial visit. Maybe go to the Auburn USC basketball game on Sunday. So it's going to be a jam-packed weekend. We'll do our best to keep y'all all informed. One more time for Prize Picks. If you haven't already, go download Prize Picks. Give them a shout and use the promo code War Eagle, all caps, one word for that match $100 deposit. We will be back, like I said, Friday morning. We're going to record Thursday night. Jhead, what you got?
How about you?
We hadn't did those on Monday nights, but I wouldn't be opposed to.
I got some. You guys got any?
I do. By the time Thursday gets around, I'm gonna have so many. So I'm okay. Let's knock them out, dude.
All right. Yeah. So I got to start with Johnny Knox 07.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah, good.
For that gift he got me for my next mock class when I put that out next week. I'm gonna go with Aces Full, who tonight said that Kevin from Wilmer is the RPM.
I mean, he's
is he? I mean, is he wrong? Probably not. And then E. Moss for that post about our recruiting show, how they were fiending for it, saying Cole hadn't woken up, not Cole, excuse me, how Zach hadn't woken up because his blinds were pointing the wrong direction. Jeffrey couldn't get out the shower. He didn't have a bath towel to step
Yeah,
on.
that was good.
I'm smirking in different time zone because I'm drinking my iced over milk. Cole was stuck on the bathroom. It was stuck on the toilet because the toilet paper roll wasn't in the right spot, man. So E-Moss for your creativity, brother. That is a how about you from me.
Let's see. Cole, you have any midweek?
Yeah, I do.
Man, I'm glad you said that, Jhead, because I was going to wait until Thursday, and I would have had way too many.
See, that's what I was thinking.
I used to keep them just in my head, but now I bookmark the ones that I like. So, yeah, I got 4. I got 4 bookmarked here. Auburn ATL. He said, all these trolls are popping up or whatever, making these posts like they're a new member. He goes, any true Auburn fan would know what Jeffrey Lee's favorite shorts are. Do you?
Oh, code word.
The guy did not know. That was what was funny about it. He was like, I don't care what his favorite shorts are.
Oh my God.
So
exposed.
That was a great tool.
Right on, man. Like the Illuminati. If you want in, you got to answer the secret question.
That's right. Stidham from Texas.
Yeah.
I'll just be honest, he made a Fred joke and it got me. There's a lot of Fred jokes out there, but this one was good. And I'm not going to tell you what it was, but it was good.
Nope.
Baked ram.
Yeah.
Just hilarious. There was I put something up about the fast food. Did y'all catch that by chance? What's your least favorite fast food restaurant?
Yes.
Mine being Crystal. I just don't like it. I'm sorry. I know it's
gut bombs, big dog.
Yeah. I don't know. I just never
been there.
There was a day and time when I would leave the front porch in Troy, Alabama, and I make my way down there to pick up some Crystal chili cheese puffs. But that day is gone and passed, brother.
So Baked Ram, a bunch of people got in there and started talking about the restaurants they do like, of course. And somebody talked about getting a chili dog from Sonic. And Baked Ram was like, dude, how old are you? I got to know what the demographics are on people that get chili dogs at Sonic.
Dude, people eat that for real?
Apparently old people, Baked Ram said. You have to be old to get a chili dog from Sonic or something like that. And then last one's Kevin Durant's Burner 2. He made a post during the show last night that I get mad when people listen to the TV instead of listening to the phone every time.
Oh, yeah.
Which is true. It drives me crazy, but
goes like, turn it down. Just listen to it, turn the phone. Okay. Let's see here. I've got the Wolf.
Yep.
The Wolf. He had a great call the other night. I think it was actually the last week.
He did, and he's been asking for that. How about you too?
Oh, has he?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. He's been on his hind legs.
He deserves it. Yeah. How about this, boy? Got your controversial one here.
Oh,
J. Lee's pink head with no apostrophe.
Hey.
Hey, I actually got one more.
Okay.
Jhead's hairline.
I saw that today. I was
wondering when you were going to see that.
Bro, give him one for me on that one. He got me dirty.
And he's got a picture of your hairline. Oh,
so good.
All right, let's see here. J. Lee's pink head. But how about Hamilton WDE, man?
Yes,
Well,
good,
Hamilton.
great poster.
Great poster. How about Hugh Freeze's massive balls?
How about
you, big dog Moss? How about you to Mr. Sandman? How about you to Rob Chubb, police evader?
Yes.
How about you to, that was your Baked Ram. How about you to old Gorgeous? Gorgeous. Boy, I tell you what now, he's growing on me.
Me too.
Growing on me like a damn tick.
He don't say much. He's a short but sweet. I'm going to put like one word in there, but it's always impactful.
Okay, how about you? I got 3 left. How about you to little Coleman?
There you go. That's
yeah.
How about your little Coleman Pink?
make that sweat.
Appreciate it. Appreciate
How
it.
about your little buddy who got hurt last night?
Yeah, got a little hairline fracture on the tibia.
Yeah.
It's the first of many, I'm sure.
Final two. How about you to Knight Rider?
Oh, that's a good one.
How about you to Aub4J?
Yeah. Oh,
These two guys were doing the Lord's work on Monday, folks.
and let's leave it at that.
How about you, big dogs? All right. We went overboard. That's all right. Hey, we will be back Thursday night. Y'all stay with us all throughout the week on the corner. We're going to be tracking all this stuff as best we can. And y'all keeping us on our toes as always. We'll be back Thursday night. We'll come to you Friday morning and see what's going on for this weekend. And the last weekend before the early signing period begins. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. We appreciate y'all listening. We appreciate y'all watching, man. For Jhead, for Cole, for Zach in the back, I'm Jeffrey Lee. Y'all stay that left lane. See ya.